Hey guys, Chris Fix here. Today I'm going to answer many common questions I get about tools. What are good tool brands to buy? What toolbox should I get? What are the basic tools you should have to start working on your car? How can you make money buying tools? And how you can get tools for free. And if you already have a ton of tools, remember to comment below with any tips and tricks or with something I might not cover, which should help everybody out. Also, most of my subscribers already know, but for those of you who are new, I am not paid by any tool companies at all. Everything I'm saying is completely honest, as always. The goal with all my videos is to help you guys learn, contribute to your skill sets, contribute to your knowledge base, whether it's Craftsman, if it's Sonic, if it's Stanley, or if it's Pittsburgh, it doesn't matter. What you guys take away from it and truthful and honest information matters to me. And that's why you should consider hitting that subscribe button, because I'm just like you guys. I use common hand tools to work on my cars at home, in my garage, in my driveway, because I enjoy working on cars, and also I like to save some money and know the job is getting done right. Let's start with toolboxes. Now these are important because this is where you keep all your tools and keep them organized. But you don't have to start out with one of these big boxes. You could start out with something small like this. This right here was my first toolbox. I got this when I was a kid. It was real inexpensive, but it did the job. When looking for your first toolbox, find something with a lot of storage because you're going to be collecting a lot of tools real quickly. And you don't want to move up to something like this just yet. This lasted me about a year and it worked real nice. After this box, I moved up to this black one right here. Now, unfortunately, these are significantly more expensive, but they're an investment. Wait for a holiday sale to buy one of these big boxes because you could find some great deals and save a ton of money. Also, check Craigslist, your local auctions. Sometimes you can get these filled with tools that are used, but big deal, you get a great deal. So after this box, I moved up to my Sonic box. This thing is fully loaded, fully organized, and it has a great workspace on the top. You could wheel it around to your vehicle so you could bring the tools to where you're working, which is helpful. And I have two tips for when you're buying one of these large toolboxes. The first tip is you want to get a toolbox with ball bearings in the drawers. The next tip is you want a toolbox that has a bunch of drawers. You don't want to have a toolbox that only has a couple. You want to get as many drawers as you can so you can fit as many tools as you can. And finally, when you're buying your toolbox, remember it's an investment, it's going to last a lifetime, and you want something that's going to organize your tools really well, because that's the whole point of this. Keep your tools organized. Alright, so you got your toolbox, whether it's a small one or one of these larger ones. If you're just starting out, what tools do you want to get so that when you're working on your vehicle, you could fix most things with a beginner's set of tools? Now at this point of the video, let's forget about the actual brand. Don't worry about the brand of the tool, that'll come later. For now, just focus on the tool itself. The other thing is, we're focusing on hand tools, not stuff like a jack or one of these electric impact guns. The first thing we're going to talk about is building a good socket set. Now unfortunately you're going to have to pick metric or SAE or buy both. What I'd do is I'd pick one. Most of the cars I work on are metric, so here's a metric set. Now one of the most important things to me are the sockets. You want to make sure that you have both shallow sockets and deep sockets because you're going to find uses for both of them. Now this set here is a 1/4 inch set, so we go from 4 all the way up to 13. But if you can, try to find a set that is at least 8. Here we go 6. It goes to 14, 15, all the way up to 22. So 8 to 22 is my recommendation if you could find a set like that. So we have everything covered between these two sets here. You don't want to get a set like this where it goes 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 21. Because I promise you, you're going to need that 18, you're going to need that 20, and this will just drive you nuts. You also want to try to get a set that comes with extensions, because you'll definitely need those. And then a bonus is one of these universal joints, which you'll probably use every once in a while for those nuts and bolts that are difficult to get to. If you notice with this set, we have these Torx, which you don't have to worry about when you're starting off, unless if you have like a German car that uses a lot of Torx. But these are more specialty, and you could wait and hold off to get those till you build your collection up a little bit more. And then with every socket set that you buy, you need to get yourself a good breaker bar. This is how you remove all those stuck nuts and bolts. It'll come right off when you have all this leverage. So that covers the basics on what type of socket set you want to look for. Next, you need to get yourself a good wrench set. Just like with the sockets, with the wrenches, you want to make sure when you get a set, it's a complete set. There's no skips in sizes. I have this cheap set here. It goes 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 19. So we're missing 18, we're missing 16, we go down to the beginning, we're missing 7. You're going to need those, and you're not going to have them. And then you're going to have to buy more tools. So you want to try to find a complete set. Now there are so many types of wrenches that you could get. I just want to cover the basic one that you should start out with. A wrench just like this, has an open end, has a box end. It's medium size, not long, not short. But there are tons of options, and here's what I mean. We have specialty wrenches, just like this. They're angled. Even our basic wrench has differences. You could have a 6-point like this, or you could have a 12-point like that. And the uses vary. And then you could also get ratcheting wrenches, which you don't need right away. You could wait to get those. They just make your life a little bit easier in tight places, but they work the same as a regular wrench. So again, there's multiple options, but I'd start off with a regular set with all the sizes that you need. Then as you need tools, you could go and get those tools from the store. And for the last category on basic hand tools, I like to call these supporting tools. They're your screwdrivers, they're your pliers, a big 4-pound hammer, some vice grips, and stuff like that. When choosing pliers, there's 2 types I like. These blunt nose style pliers, and then these needle nose style pliers, which are a lot narrower. And then you want a good clippers for cutting wires. And then you could get your specialty pliers. You know, these are curved needle nose pliers. You don't need these right away, but they do help with getting hoses off, hose clamps and stuff like that. And then obviously screwdrivers, I don't really have to explain these. You got your basic Phillips head and flat head. I like these because they're magnetic, which is awesome because you could put the screw on there and it holds it in place, or when you unscrew it, it won't fall into the engine bay. So these are good for the basics, but as you get more tools, these thirds are a great way to get specialized tools that you don't need a whole set of. You just need a small set. And finally, there's something I like to call the don't category. Don't buy gimmicky tools, especially when you're starting out. Tools like this are really cool. I gotta give it to them. They come up with these great ideas, but I haven't even used this even once because, wanna know what? A regular wrench just does the job better. But as many of you will find out, you have like a tool addiction, and you see something cool like this, you'll buy it. So when you first start out, resist the urge to buy those gimmicky tools, the multi-tools, or even the specialized tools, unless if you need them. For specialized tools, you don't actually have to buy them. You could rent them. A puller set like this, go to your parts store. You might only use this once, twice, 3 times a year. They'll rent it out to you for free. Same thing for a ball joint press set like this. Your local parts store even rents AC gauges and vacuum pumps, so if you need to do air conditioning work, you don't have to buy the pump and the gauges. And there are tons of specialty tools that parts stores rent out for free, so check it out and save some money on tools that you might only use once a year. Now, buying tools costs a lot of money, so how do you afford them? Well, this is how I started. Let's do the math. Every time I had something to fix on my car, I got a quote from the dealer, and then I priced out the job if I did it myself. For example, a brake job could cost $500 or more. It really depends on the car. I know parts are going to cost me around $100, so that means I save $400 if I do the job myself. Now, I can invest all that $400 into tools, but instead, let's be smart and invest only half of that into tools and save the rest for whatever you might want. Then, as things break on your car, fix it yourself, save money, and buy new tools. And that's how I afford my tools. I mean, when I was in high school and college, I was working at Pizza Hut, so I couldn't afford many tools. But fixing my own cars and never having to go to a mechanic, I saved enough and built up to what I have now. Now, the last thing I want to talk about are tool brands. Now, there are tons of brands, and just like cars, everybody has their favorite. So the best way I could think about explaining the different brands is through an analogy. And this is how I think of the tool companies. Snap-on is like a Ferrari. It's really nice, everybody wants one, it's fancy, it's expensive, it's exotic, it's expensive, it's quality, it's expensive. I think you get the idea. Harbor Freight is like a Hyundai. Great warranty, not really comparable to the Ferrari, but gets you from point A to point B. It's usually cheap, definitely low quality, but you could get by with it. Now Sonic is like a Corvette. It's nice, it's fast, it's way less expensive compared to the Ferrari, but it's more expensive than the Hyundai. But you get great quality for the price, and you could beat most supercars. If not, then you could at least keep up with them. And I think a fun idea, in the comments, let me know your tool brand analogy. And since I started using these tools, you've asked me to review them, so now's a good chance to see what they're all about. So the first thing, and the thing that stands out to me the most about these tools, organization. You know where every tool goes, every tool's organized. You want flatheads? They're all over here. You want Phillips heads? They're all over here. Your pry bars, your specialty screwdrivers, all of that is in one place, neatly organized. Compare that to a normal toolbox where, well, here are all my screwdrivers. I kind of keep them organized the best I can, but they roll around, they move. You know, this is one of those portable toolboxes, so it moves around. Here, I roll it around, everything stays in place, and I think that is just beautiful. Besides screwdrivers, you guys already seen the socket sets, but everything is numbered, it's labeled, it's in order, it's in place, and that just makes everything so much more efficient when you're working on cars. You could easily find what you're looking for. If I want to go get my wrenches, well, I got thirds here, so I could grab some wrenches, specialty wrenches, or I have some deep sockets right there. You know, the next one, if I want to go and grab some SAE wrenches, everything's right there. I come down here, I want to grab pliers, any specialty tools, a box cutter, that's all in place. Come down here, here's a chisel set, some hammers, and then finally my last drawer is, well, I just keep torque wrenches in here for now, but you can put whatever you want in here. It's deeper, and everything in this box is neat and organized. So one of the biggest things, organization. Now compare this socket set drawer with this socket set drawer. Completely different. I try to stay organized, but you can't on something like this. With this, all foam to fit your tools. And honestly, this is what hooked me. The next thing I want to talk about is the warranty. Let's say you use one of these screwdrivers as a pry bar and you break it. All you have to do with Sonic, completely different than any other brand tool that I've owned. You take a picture of the broken tool, you fill out a quick form online, and once they approve, they next day airship you a brand new tool to your house. No waiting for a tool truck to come, no driving out to the store. That I thought was pretty cool. And finally, let's talk about another important thing, and that's the feel and function of the tools themselves. Just like other quality tools I've used, Sonic tools feel solid. They have a nice rubber grip to them, which is comfortable in your hands. It's not hot in the summer, it's not cold in the winter. And the quality of the metal, it's light, but it feels strong. A cool thing about the sockets, you know, after you loosen a bolt and then all of a sudden, like, your ratchet doesn't work anymore because it's so loose, they have grips on the socket to help you remove that nut or bolt, which is actually a really nice feature. That's one thing that stuck out to me when I'm using these. So for after owning these tools for a little while, the biggest thing to me is efficiency with the organization, and then the quality of the tools is great for the price. A similar quality tool brand, this thing is a fraction of the price of what they would charge, which for people who do stuff at home but want professional series tools, that's a good thing. Now, I contacted Sonic to see if I could get my subscribers a discount. They did help out with the giveaway, which was awesome, and now they're helping out again. They told me to pick out a tool for a discount for you guys, so I chose these thirds, and you could get 25% off when you follow the link in the description. And the reason why I picked thirds is because a lot of toolboxes look like this. And with the discount, you could get a third and get your toolbox a little bit more organized and try out some new tools. So hopefully the discount helps you guys. It's up for a week. You could click the link in the description to get to it. Hopefully the video was helpful, gave you some new tips on getting tools. I know everybody's been asking for this, asking for a review on Sonic tools, so there we go. As always, if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing.